Me more than anything, Rick, is I know these things get played out publicly in politics, but to me this seems like the type of situation where you have a much more difficult time trying to get your base to come around some.
No, but wait a minute, Becky. When's the next election, Becky? When's the next election?
2 years.
Okay, so why does he need to pump up his base and go on the road? He won. What is this for?
Because you
what
do
is
have
this
to
trying to do?
And have some people come around you, and I think that's because that's what blew things in July of 2011.
No, Rick,
he wants people to not get your wing, and Boehner could not get his wing.
He wants people to put pressure on their congressmen.
I'm going to agree with Rick on this. I think real leadership is governing from your surplus, not your deficit. And I think what Rick's pointing out is he's won the election. He has the ability now to go to his base and extract something there, and he doesn't owe them anything and won't owe them for 2 years.
Right.
And so, and also to the extent that we were talking earlier that the real thing that should matter now to the president is his economic legacy.
Right.
He got a gift in this election when the numbers showed that more people blamed President Bush for the economy than blamed him. That's something that's just not going to live, the next 4 years. So if you could solve the deficit.
What if you could narrow the income disparity and not get above 2% GDP growth? Would that be good enough for some people?
No.
Really?
Well, maybe for some.
If you could redistribute effectively and transform society, and the economy goes on as it...
Well, wait a second. If your priority is the jobs, is to go after jobs...
It was never in the first...
The priority is supposed to be...
The president should be thinking about how he can clear the decks right now to get business to invest.
I mean, that's a quote, Steve.
But Steve, how do you get from where he started to where you want him to end?
Well, no, where you want to do is you want to get rid of the fiscal cliff uncertainty. Let me just make one other point about this. We have taken an increasing part of the tax code because of the political dysfunctionality in Washington and put it on a yearly basis. And what the fiscal cliff is essentially taking the personal income tax code and putting that on a yearly basis. It is just no way to plan and to do business. And it strikes me that if you could solve the fiscal cliff problem, get tax reform going, create the field, you could extract more, I feel, from the wealthy and even from business and get rid of deductions. But
Steve,
what I hear so many people...
hard to extract from the wealthy, though. Did you read that op-ed journal today? You know, we had, Mr. Jim Sinegal, and this is going to be the entire Santelli exchange today.
I read that.
At the Democratic National Convention.
I read that.
And yet, of course, Costco's putting the money through. You know, doesn't that bug you a little bit?
But Rick, I also read the op-ed above it, Rick.
That claim the president's fairness, those wealthy people that he wants to go after, they escape it.
What's interesting, Rick, is the op-ed above it has a list of GDP by year, and it completely leaves out the 8 years of the Bush administration. If you read that op-ed above it. Did you read that one, Rick?
You know what? Don't give me the switcheroo. I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the one below it, Steve.
I'm talking about the one above it. I'm rising above it, Rick, to the one above it.
Because it's so reprehensible. It's reprehensible.
No, my point, Rick.
People go to Charlotte and say fairness, and then they run to try to beat the tax man, which is predicated on
I think he's doing his job. He's doing his job as a corporate executive. No, he's doing his job.
I can't even talk about it anymore.
He's gone.